Hey, Bruce. I know guys take Nixon cuts every night, but that was a pretty good whack Marchand took. I guess how inspirational was that for him to stay on the bench and then to be able to come back and do what he did on the power plays.
Yeah, I think we know what he's all about, Steve. So we've seen it, his compete level, practice, game, optional skate, morning skate, you name it. He's a competitive guy when he puts the skates on. And I think it demoralizes the other team a little bit. They're trying to play him hard, and their line did a good job early on, that Dowd line. And but we kept coming, and fortunately we're able to get a 5-on-3 goal. I think it settled us down, got us back in the game. Then Marsh's goal, I know it goes in off a stick, but that's a shot we got last year in the playoffs against this kill. We wanted to make sure we took it, whether it was passed on a strong side or Marsh one time or whoever was over there. So good for us for sticking with the plan and got us back in the game, and we're pretty good after that.
Pluto.
Bruce, Taylor Hall, clearly he enjoys playing with David, but perhaps it's more than that. What else has been in play that has helped Taylor express more of his offensive game?
Yeah, he likes playing with him as much as Crutch. Huh? I mean, who doesn't, right? He's a pretty explosive player. He finds the ice and can finish plays and can pass as well as he shoots. So it's a good combination right now. You just got to make sure you have a guy in the middle that's going to play a good 200-foot game for those guys, take care of some of the other details. Because like a lot of good offensive players, when they get the puck, they're thinking, they're going. So I think Eric Hall has, done a nice job in there, sort of keeping that glue in the middle of the ice for those guys, communicating. But yeah, those guys are clicking right now. That's what we hope for. We made a few changes that we'd get all the lines going. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Lately, it seems like every line is feeling good about their game. If a line does have an off night, they tend to, contribute in different ways. Our decor is now moving the puck crisper, I think, cleaner through the neutral zone. So that helps guys, especially like Taylor, that's a good transition player, that if you don't have a good gap on him, he can hurt you off the rush. And he's done a good job with that. And credit to David as well we've always seen that part of his game, but just happy for them that things are going well.
Kevin DuPont.
Bruce, I've got a Grizz question, but before that, the two fellas with COVID, the two latest with COVID, last time this happened on the road, the guys had to drive themselves home from Buffalo. Is that the case this time, or can they get on the plane with you?
Well, they could have driven home right away, but I don't think they would have taken a 24-hour drive for forward as opposed to sitting by the beach, right? So sometimes you catch a break. You get it in Buffalo, you got to drive. You get it in Florida. You could, he's going to stay there, and then once you're cleared, he'll continue to test and try to get that number above 30. Then he'll get a flight home. What flight? I'm not sure yet. A little different for Clifton. Being here, it could probably jump on a train or get an Uber. It's not quite as bad. But I'm not sure how that one will work out, but we don't expect forward to drive, and I'm not even sure what they decide on Clifton. But at the end of the day, it's unfortunate. Neither one, Kevin, has had any symptoms. Now maybe some more crept in today for forward, but they hadn't. So that's the good news, is they're not, they're healthy. They're just, going to have to be out for hopefully the minimum amount of time and test their way out of it.
Okay. And on Grizz, a 5-point night, a great night for him. What do you think is his offensive upside? I mean, 5 points is ridiculous, but where can he be at his top game, you think?
Well, some nights like Grizz will make these, there's good seam passes in the ozone, and we won't cash in. Tonight, I think he was obviously the benefactor of just having some good gaps in the neutral zone, getting the first touch to start to play up the ice, and we happened to score on a few of those. So, Marshy and I think it was Pasta, or maybe the Vac got the one up for Pasta's goal, but power play, Charlie, and I'm not sure what happened. He was out for a shift or two, so we kept Grizz out there. We've often told all those guys, even Torrey back in the day, it's like, you got to get the puck in the forward's hands, and when it's your turn to shoot. But in general, be a facilitator, keep it moving, settle everyone down, be good on the entries. And Grizz has always done that well. So the power play was nice reward for him to get started. And then the shot, well, he hit the net, right? Like, they backed in, they took the shot, he hit the net. He's been off net a little bit with some of his chances. So good for him. I think that was a theme throughout for us tonight, is and even a little bit in Tampa, we're starting to be much more on net with our good looks. And as a result, we're forcing goalies to be perfect or to make some high end saves. And it's been a few games now where they haven't been able to do it. So good for us. And for Grizz, 5 points, like I said, doesn't happen very often. So enjoy it when it does.
We have time for two more. We'll go to Connor Ryan.
Hey, Bruce. Anton Bleed had 2 points tonight. I know his profile maybe isn't that of a scoring winger, but what has kind of stood out to you about his game recently since getting back in the lineup?
A little more confidence, I think, attacking. Again, in the right position on Smitty's goal. Gets kind of the play started by, back checking well, getting to a spot, supporting, and then goes to the net, occupies the goaltender's eyes. So Smitty gets, almost a free look. So good play by Laser too to drive. So it's good play all around. But he has scored a little bit in Providence over the years. He's not going to be a high-end scorer. Never has. So that's not the expectation, but he can contribute. I've seen him score down there. He's got a really good wrist shot. Has good, certainly excellent feet to get himself in positions to shoot the puck. I think for him, it becomes a confidence thing after a while, and about hitting the net too. The goal he scored the other night in Tampa, he hit the net. Like, it doesn't have to be a perfect shot every time. Get it on net, get it away in a hurry, and you'll get, you're going to get your share. Like I said, if you're creating enough, and you'll always go to the net. So a little more composure. You saw it tonight on the rush. He's starting to feel it a little better. It's perfectly normal with younger guys, what they can get away with, what they can't. So we're encouraging him to be more of that player. But at the end of the day, don't lose your identity. Be hard to play against. Be a bit of a pest. Block shots. Contribute on the kill. But, the offense, any good team will tell you need it up and down the lineup. So good for them, for that line, for bringing it. No matter who's on it, they've been pretty good the last 3-4 days or games and 5 games and helping us out. So good for Anton, and hopefully, like I said, he gets on a bit of a roll and continues to give us some production.
Last question, Jimmy Murphy.
Hey, Coach, going back to Grizzly, just if you can talk just about the mental toughness he showed to kind of turn around in an instant and bury, obviously a regrettable play there in the first period.
Yeah, that's a little touch play that's almost like a no looker that you really have to have good chemistry with your centerman or your wingers, whoever's in the low slot. And Bergie was in helping out. They're a heavy forecheck team. When Grizz gets, he's got great feet to escape and a good hockey IQ, but if he gets sort of in the clutches of a heavy forecheck, then he's just not a big, strong guy to get out of it. So Bergie's trying to give him a little help and, run some legal interference, and it's a little miscommunication, but Grizz has to be better on that. It happened to us in New York with Carlos. So some of that is we got to make sure we want those little touch breakouts, Jimmy, when they're there. They can certainly help you get going the other way, create offense, but when you're putting it to the front of your net, you got to be sure. So that's one we'll look at again and talk to them about. We don't want to take away their creativity. We don't want to take away those plays when they're there. We just got to be mindful that it's a big risk if it doesn't work out. We've seen it twice now. So let's be a little more sure that we hear your teammate calling for it, or at least, if you don't see it, make sure that, it's a voice you recognize, because teams will do that. They'll call for pucks all over the ice. So, but after that, we didn't get too upset with it. It was just, you got to keep playing, get back to work. Just make sure, like I said, you see the play before you make it, and off you went.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah.